Aroids are easy house plants, am I right? All right, not all of them, some of them, maybe even most of them. In my experience and in my opinion, there are some that stand out among the rest that are easy, beautiful, and you could pretty much grow them however you want. And I will explain that in just a minute, but let's get started on Paul the Plant Parent's Easy Aroids. Boom, first one, Epon Orium. This is the golden pothos. This variety is the neon pothos. You can see these beautiful neon greenish, chartreusey kind of colored leaves. Look at this. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now this plant I have growing in water culture. If you've been following, you've seen this in other videos, but I figured it should be part of the Easy Aroids video. So plant grows great. It was suffering in soil, not doing well at all. So I tried a bunch of things, tried changing the soil, didn't work. So I said, let me just take this out, put it in water. Put it in water, eventually it acclimated and just kind of sat there, didn't really do too much. So I said, all right, it's been months, so let me give it some feed. I started giving it some of this new feed that I started using a few months back, and you can see the new growth is beautiful. It's healthy. The vines have been growing really nicely. Look at how long, and the new leaves on the new growth are very healthy. These are just very, very healthy leaves. Look at this. This plant is really thriving. So I have this in water culture, like I said, using the new slow release fertilizer that I'm using. I know, a slow release. Water culture, what? I know, this was an experiment. I said, let's see if this even works. I wanted to see if the slow release pellets would dissolve too quickly, if it would be too much for the plant, not enough for the plant. I just wanted to see what would happen. Because this way, you put in some fertilizer and then you can forget about it for a few months, right? Well, so far so good. Still has not dissolved all of the fertilizer pellets, and it's been feeding for about maybe 2 months, I'd say. And the plant is going nuts. It is very happy, very healthy. This plant is, I'd say, about 10 feet away from a south-facing window. So it's not getting a lot of light at all. It's getting just ambient light in the winter, and in the summer it gets even less. So yeah, very, very easy plant to grow. To propagate, all you have to do is cut the vine where you see the leaf nodes. You see the aerial root right there? You just would cut, and then that aerial root will become the new water roots, and then you'll get new vines growing above the leaf. So if this was your cutting, you'll get a new vine growing right above this leaf, and this is the root right there that would start to grow. Boom! So yeah, water culture, they love it, and especially with a good feed. So Epon Orium Neon Pothos. Next up, we have the Filodendron. This is Filodendron Herum, I think it's what it is. Also, I've seen it as Filodendron cordatum, however you say that. Hardly philodendron, either way. Beautiful, beautiful, old school aroid that used to be in everybody's house growing up. The leaves are really pretty, heart-shaped, almost like monsteras before they fenestrate, young monsteras. And monsteras are easy to grow too, but they just get very, very big. The plants that I'm showing in this video are manageable, not too big, tabletop or trailing, hanging basket type plants that you don't need a lot of room for, okay? So this is the Hartley Philodendron, which is in soil, and I'm using the slow release fertilizer that I've been talking about in soil as well. And you can see that the plant is happy. Even though it's not getting a lot of light, it is thriving. It is thriving, and it really has been reacting well to this fertilizer. I only started giving this the feed maybe 2 to 3 weeks ago, so it's definitely started taking off. Same propagation method for the Hartley Philodendron that I said for the pothos. All you need is a node that has the aerial roots. Even if there aren't any aerial roots, just wherever there's a node, the potential to grow roots and a new vine. So yeah, you would just take your cutting, put it in water, put it in soil, put it in moss, whatever you want to do, and then you would have a new plant. Heartleaf Philodendron. Beautiful, right? Old school beautiful. Next up, we have Skepsis. Now this is a really cool plant. This particular variety is Skepsis Silver Cloud. Now I'm not sure if this is a variety of Skepsis pictus or exotica, but it is gorgeous. Now look at the silver patterning on these leaves. It is really, really cool. Now there's another variety that's very similar to this. I also have that, but it's not in this video. It's the Skepsis Silver Splash. This is Silver Cloud. Silver Splash only has like what you see on the edging here, like a splattering of silver throughout the leaf. Silver Cloud has more of a cloudy silver texture, as you can see. Really pretty. This plant I have growing in semi-hydro, lava rock. You can see there's some root growth there. It's been in here for quite some time. And it also is using the slow release fertilizer, as you can see. This plant has been growing and growing and growing and growing. It is doing so well. This was just a little cutting when I got it. And this isn't really getting much light. This is, let's say 3 to 4 feet away from an LED daylight bulb, okay? It's not right up against it, but it is, you can tell it's turning its leaves upward to get the light, which I think is really cool. But yeah, very easy. Just like the others, propagation's the same. All you need is a leaf node with a potentially an aerial root. Even if you don't have an aerial root, it potentially could root very easily. But yeah, very, very easy to grow. Staying with the Skepsis genus, we have Silver Hero. More silver on the leaves. More, I want more. This is Silver Hero, also known as platinum. Look at these leaves, almost completely covered in silver. And actually, one of the older leaves from the original, this was a little cutting when I got it, almost all completely silver. I mean, there's a little patch there that's green right there, but you could see how the silver patterning is just, the silver coloring is just flushed through the entire leaf. These guys have not been getting a lot of light, so the silver isn't as consistent as that one leaf, as you can see, but still very, very pretty, very beautiful, a really nice cultivar. I love it. Same situation applies as far as taking cuttings. All you need is a node. And this is also in lava rock semi-hydro with slow release fertilizer. Beautiful, beautiful aroid. I love it. And last but not least, before we move on to the fertilizer, is Skepsis. I believe this is Pictus Silvery Ann. Now, Silvery Ann, let me just explain what Pictus looks like. Pictus kind of looks more like this leaf here. It just has like splotches of silver, kind of like, sort of like this, right? Silvery Ann has silver blocks of silver, like around the edges. Like you see that silver there. Up here, you see all the silver on the top there. So Silvery Ann, especially towards the end of the leaf, the point is where a lot of the silver typically is, but it could be anywhere really. You can see even up here. Anyway, Silvery Ann, beautiful. This is also in soil with slow release fertilizer, doing well. As you can see, the leaves were curly because this was dry right before the video. I decided, oh, I gotta water it. These guys never go through that because I always make sure that there's a reservoir. But this is what happens, with soil growing. It lets you know when it needs a drink. Another reason why I prefer not to have my plants in soil, because if you forget to water them, boom, they start to curl up and dry up like that. While if you have water culture, semi-hydro, you have kind of like a buffer of time because you can see, oh, let's see how the water's doing. Where's the level? So you can then act accordingly. Anyway, those are the aroids I want to talk about in this video because they are very, very easy. And here is the fertilizer I started using. You probably have seen this if you've been following, and they're not a sponsor of this video, but this is by Tazula Plants, but it is Nutricoat fertilizer. This is good for orchids, tropicals, pretty much anything. I give this to everything now, especially my plants in water culture, because this plant, which was my experiment, has proven to me that the plant loves it. It loves it. And the funny thing is, these pellets are supposed to last a few months, right? It's been about 2 to 3 months that this plant has had Nutricoat in it, and those pellets have still not completely dissolved. They may be a little smaller, but it's still feeding the plant, and I think that's amazing. I'm not sure because there's different theories if it's the temperature that helps these pellets dissolve or moisture. I think it may be a temperature thing, maybe a combination of the two, because these are completely in water because this is water culture and they haven't dissolved completely. So take with that what you will. I don't know what to say, except it works wonderfully, as you can see. This plant is lush, and just a few weeks back, this was sparse. It didn't look very healthy. Now look at it. Look at all these new leaves, and the color is so vivid. Just very, very, very happy. So I definitely recommend this feed. I have a link to it in the description of the video. So if you're interested in it, I say go get yourself some and experiment with it. Again, this was just an experiment using it in water culture, and this is the result I got. So I'm not complaining at all. And all these guys, obviously, in semi-hydro, in soil, they're all doing well. They're all doing well. I was really surprised at this one though, because, you know, slow release in water culture, that's unheard of. Like that just, you don't do that. Well, I did it. And I'm happy that I did, because look at how beautiful. Anyway, if you have any questions about any of these plants, don't forget to leave a comment and we will discuss. If you have any questions about this feed and how I've been using it, I can definitely get into more depth with that. There's really not much to it though. And if you have any questions about water culture growing, which is one of my favorite, probably my favorite way to grow most of my plants, my indoor plants at least, let's talk about it, because it makes life so much easier. This plant was saved in water culture, of course, with feed. But look at how beautiful. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell if you want to be notified, and I will see you in the next video.